Wacky Legacy Finals with Blue-White, 2 Tundra Miracles, hoping to win a 3rd Tundra, versus Jake on Goblins. None other than Goblins. This matchup is not great for Jake.
No, it is
They
not.
chopped the price.
Okay, cool. Sweet. We just got news. Yes, the finals will be watchable later. Turn 1 Lackey, don't worry about that. Got a Glock in his Rari.
No, Turn 1 Lackey
talked about
definitely wants to watch this
Yeah.
finals too. Like,
I bet. So, Death and Taxes has enough play in this matchup. Between Flicker Wisp and Thalia and, your aggro plan that has Batter Skull.
Right. Your creatures actually do things.
Right, exactly. And other than just dying to Terminus.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was one of the old stories that I heard when Miracles first showed up on the block 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, I can't remember, was that this guy was at a top 8 and he looked at his opponent's deck list and he conceded on the spot. He said he was the Goblins player, and he looked at the deck list, and he goes, "Oh, I can't win this."
Yeah, well,
and he just conceded, just
probably wasn't
scooped.
wrong.
Yeah, no, not necessarily incorrect. I think Goblins can have game.
It can.
If Tyler stumbles, if he can hit, if he can hit him with ports and stuff. But the thing is, it's like, ports are not the highest value play for the Goblin deck. Without a vial, they're not that great.
Exactly. He needs to stick a vial early, have it resolve, and just pray that it doesn't get
the
wrecked
Tyler's
by a Terminus.
mana gets screwed up.
That's
Yeah, exactly.
it.
And that's a good start. As far as Jake's concerned, that's a decent start to see out of Tyler, right? So his Wastelands are potentially going to be live. Can't quite see.
Exactly.
Can't quite see Jake's hand here.
No,
we were informed they did chop prizes, so Goblins is going to be going home with something. So I guess they're going to cut the Tundra in half immediately after.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah,
that's how you split.
I believe they said they were going to play Flip It or Rip It for the Tundra.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
So even better.
I like what's referred to as the Midas chop, right? Where you have somebody come up to the table and threaten to tear the card in half, and whoever says no, just give it to him. That's the guy who gets it. That's the way to do it.
I like that. So
with Magic players, it would end with the card being torn in half all the time.
Of course, of course.
We just let it happen.
Yeah,
So no turn 1 Lackey for you. Forcing the Lackey, which is interesting, but it makes sense
Definitely
if he's lean on removal.
Makes
right?
sense. Yeah, it's. I mean, if he just lets the Lackey loose and has no enter for it, it's just. I mean, that's.
Snagging that Tundra was not bad right there.
Not at all. No.
You guys don't think Miracles is favored here. I hope we're being trolled by chat. I really do.
I mean, when are you not being trolled by chat? Really?
I guess
it's
that's
the question,
fair.
right?
I get trolled by Twitch chat all the time.
So yeah.
So Phil Tapin was talking about the Glock and his Rari. We talked about this a little bit earlier. What kind of gun do you think would match a Ferrari?
Match a Ferrari.
I argued that it would have to be a submachine gun in the trunk.
Yeah, it's.
But
at
the thing
least
is, your
something
trunk is in the
automatic.
front, so that doesn't work. You would have to have built-in guns like James Bond style.
Well, that's extremely reasonable.
Conclusion
I
we
think
came
that
to.
is.
Yeah, price-wise, it's fine.
Yeah.
So we're gonna ponder. I think we're looking for a second blue source.
Definitely, yeah. Some just needs to get some lands into play.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Miracle's still just setting up here. Goblins, I mean, doesn't want to let the game go on too long.
I would love to be proven wrong here, but
me too. Hey, by all means,
love to see Goblins run away.
I just lost to Miracles, right? Tyler
so
playing them right now, so let's
yeah.
let's let the Goblins player go home with the Tundra. I'm okay with that.
All right, so let's see. We are going to be slinging in with a Lackey, and we are going to make contact because there's no man up for Swords of Plowshares. What do you got, buddy? Let's do this.
Tyler's shields are just down. Matron, it looks like.
Yeah, that's Matron.
Okay.
Now let's see what he goes for.
Alright, get a pile driver. Pro blue, but...
Oh yeah, this is Max Silver here.
Can actually be countered, so... Oh yeah, hi. I'm Max Silver. I just lost to Tyler in top 4. Sad times. I was playing Storm, so, not...
I just messed up their life, though.
Yeah. Not the best matchup, but we played.
But
we played 3 solid games.
You've been getting a lot more comfortable with your.
Yeah, I have it built
deck,
online
like.
on Moto 2 now, which I've been playing a lot more recently.
Nice.
So it's definitely helped a lot. Yeah.
That's so, but not in terms of vintage. That's still like you're.
yeah.
You're still like years away from
exactly. Yeah. We'll get there one day. All right, so Lucky coming in again. This is literally everything that Jake wants to do, right? Like,
oh yeah, this is pretty solid for him right now.
I mean,
just lean right into the Terminus. It's
I mean,
ideal.
you know, you can't really do anything about it. Oh. All right, so hold on
This
here.
is the card he chose to run. This is Wart Boggart Auntie.
Wart Bogger Auntie. I know I've seen this card before, but I can't think of what it does off the top of my
I
head.
think that isn't this Boggart
that
Auntie?
it? No,
I thought it was.
No, that's is that Earwig Squad? That's Earwig Squad, right?
No. Turn 1 Lackey just left too. This is his favorite card. This is you have to.
Yeah,
you're absolutely
that's
right.
Earwig Squad.
Oh my
I knew it.
goodness!
Yeah.
No, Terminus.
All right.
Terminus.
Prowl is on.
Yeah. Oh my goodness!
My god.
That's Earwig Squad.
Hey Bob, come on in here to the store and see that. Come on, face, bro. All right.
Oh
I got
my
a storm of
goodness.
10 waiting for you, and a tendrils in my hand.
Bam. Earwig Squad.
That is definitely yes.
Why do you take one of the? Is that the? I guess it's the only
Um,
entreat in his deck, right? So
Yeah.
taking 2 Terminus is interesting. Leaving
Huh.
him with 2.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, show
That
him a
is
little mercy,
hilarious.
right? Leave him.
This is and like this is the exact kind of play. Turn 1 Lackey, who actually
Yeah.
just left, has watched our chat all year.
That's sad.
And
yeah,
he just goes
someone needs
on and
to
on
message
about
him and
Earwig
tell him
Squad.
to watch this replay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that is. I mean, Tyler can't be feeling good in here right
No,
now.
absolutely
I mean,
not.
He's
Absolutely
behind
not.
on mana. He's behind on the board. Just behind basically in every way.
Terminus would be breathing room here. But I don't think we're gonna get it.
No,
We're gonna dig a little bit deeper and find Jace the Mind Sculptor.
He's just been choked on mana this whole game since that wasteland.
Wow. He actually he snagged 2 Terminus and 1 Entreat, and I wonder if you don't just go 3 Terminus. I go 3 Terminus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably. I think he might be a little biased because I did just see him last.
He's a 5/3.
It is a 5. That's no joke.
Yeah.
That's like a
Oh my
lodestone golem,
goodness.
and that's just it. Tyler's had enough. All right. That was.
Oh my goodness.
Someone needs to message Turn 1 Lackey right now and tell him he needs to watch this replay.
This is the most wonderful top 8 I've seen
That
in
is
a while.
wow.
Let's see sideboards. All right. So, not so much in the sideboard. This is the interesting thing. His entire board is for combo decks. He will bring in the surgicals. He did do that before against Miracles, and you know that he'll do it again.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll bring in Needle for
Needle
Sensei
definitely
stop.
comes in,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's about it, really, though. I guess, right? Needles and I guess surgical's not the worst.
Right.
It's just it's that card that's just always like you can talk about cards that get misplayed and used in the wrong way. Surgical's
Right.
at the top of
But
that
the thing
list,
is,
but
the value of a good surgical is so
oh,
good.
exactly. Oh,
that,
yeah, I don't argue with that at
even
all.
a mediocre surgical is a lot better than the
Yeah.
things you could be doing with
a lot of it kind of just leans on did I get my opponent or did I not? All right. Well, if you didn't, it probably was still
hilarious.
fine anyway. And if you did get him, then great.
So for Tyler, what do you like? Celestial Purge?
Purge seems good, yeah. Supreme Verdict, I'm pretty sure will come in. Detention Sphere, probably just more removal. Maybe even Elspeth, just make dudes
Detention Sphere can take away a lot of get rid of a lot of the 1/1 goblin tokens that might
even
get pooped out.
does Containment Priest stop Aether Vial? I'm pretty sure that
Containment
does,
Priest
right?
shuts down Vial.
Shuts down Vial.
Shuts down Lackey triggers as well.
And that's right, yeah.
So
Shuts
that's
down
gonna
Lackey
be
triggers,
really-
yeah.
yeah.
It's non-token though, right? So it won't stop the Siege Gang Commander tokens from coming into play.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
So he's
it's
got
not
some
bad.
good stuff. I mean, could we even see obviously Humility's not for goblins, but I mean it can,
it could be. But the funny thing is humility is usually you're downgrading Tarmogoyfs. Now you're just downgrading
Yeah.
2/2s to 1/1s.
Yeah, but
right?
I mean, like we just saw in game 1. I mean, obviously, a turn 1 Lackey versus Humility that comes down
Turn
on
it
turn
into pure
4.
math.
It's that doesn't look great, but it's
it would be interesting.
obviously Miracles wants to draw the game out, so.
So let's see, and everybody is pretty excited about seeing Miracles lose.
Oh,
here.
of course, it's the it's the bad guy to hate on. It's the boogeyman of the format.
Exactly.
No.
And you saw what happens. Hey, if you ban Terminus, that's basically what Earwig Squad did in that last game, right?
Yep.
He banned Terminus.
Exactly. He banned
in the
Terminus from that
context
game.
of this game.
Yep.
And guess what? Your deck is not quite as
Yep.
good anymore.
Hit him with one timely wasteland, take their Terminus away, and that's it.
So Disenchant
Game over.
should come in for Vial and Needles. That's probably
yeah, that's
correct.
that sounds
That's why it's
reasonable.
there.
So what exactly, though, does, like, Goblins have in the way of, like, taking cards out? Because we just named a solid 5-6 cards he wants to bring in, but I'm not too familiar with Goblins. I don't really know what kind of stuff like, you take out.
You take the
like,
junk off the top end, so you would take out maybe, like, I don't know, I wonder, Siege Gang or two, but, you know, that's your army in a can.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
That's like
somebody
your
in the
big
chat,
finisher.
somebody in the chat mentioned, I don't know why the commentators are flipping out, and I don't know if you noticed, but somebody somebody cast Earwig Squad.
Yeah, did you not see that?
I've never seen that before, so yeah,
that was very exciting. We don't, I mean, look at this guy, C Jackson 2153. This is fantastic. All caps. That's like 9 exclamation marks. We're not the only ones freaking out.
That's
right?
accurate. That's accurate, though. That's exactly what happened.
That is, yeah.
If we hit Earwig Squad, main deck
was,
Earwig Squad.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing today. He came prepared.
That was wonderful.
I mean, you gotta.
Twin Dove says all Jake needs to do is to sandbag a ringleader matron if he ever gets Cavern into play. Right. So essentially, he can ringleader matron, you know, and then pump out a whole extra army. Obviously, that's going to cost him
his
a
hand
fortune.
never runs out of goblins.
Fortune and mana,
and that's
right.
you know. All right, he's got the Cavern. He can't counter his creatures.
Needle on top.
Okay, well,
that's solid.
Petals.
I feel like this could be quick.
Pithing Needle is good. It's a good start.
So let's see. I still have off. That is correct. Anyone who resolves a Goblin game on stream, I do have to pay. That is correct. First thing to board out is the Gem Pulp, says Augur Effect, and I think he's right about that. Gem Pulp Incinerator is the one that
totally.
pings as it cycles.
Right, you cycle when you,
Right, so...
Yeah, that can definitely go. That's not really doing a whole lot here.
So let's see here.
Because if you just... Because it's you cycle it and it deals versus how much you have on board, right?
So look at this, though. I mean, if Back to Basics comes out, that's
that's
bad.
just brutal. Yeah. So Jake's pressure here has been pretty slow. This game so far, but
I'm gonna go for a brainstorm. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, he's not leaning into it too hard. Mog is definitely, not one of his stronger plays, but we'll see.
No, but I mean, hey, it's it's a dude that comes with a dude, so it's not the worst.
Yeah, it's every little card here is going to be a little bit of value, and just keep swinging at him, not overextending too hard. Let's see. We go for Sensei's
Tyler's
top.
got a top. We don't know exactly what Needle's on, but we can only assume it's probably top.
Yeah, if he goes for Back to Basics, he does shut down
it'll
his own
turn off his
Tundra.
Tundras, but I think
That's a fair enough
probably
trade.
Tyler's probably okay with that because then Cavern is off, Port is off. He can start countering the Goblins.
Exactly.
See, like here, it's just Jake can just keep slamming everything into play with just not afraid of anything.
Right.
And with the Needle on top, there's no instant speed Terminus tricks, nothing like that. Jake's again just kind of doing everything his deck wants to be doing, and Tyler's just.
And it's funny, too, because, because of Miracle's, the passive way that it plays and stuff, the fact that Jake might be taking an extra turn to set up his aggro, he's not going to be punished for that.
No, not at all.
You get wiped, but that's it.
Okay, so we do have a Terminus here, so that'll set Jake back a little bit, but all it really got was that War Marshal and a War Chief.
The funniest thing is if you run Grenzo Dungeon Warden. Are you familiar with Grenzo?
I don't know what that card is, no.
He's a conspiracy card. I'll show you Grenzo real quick.
So that makes sense.
This guy
I don't know a lot of conspiracy cards.
Just think about this card in the context of Miracles for a second. Grenzo is X black and a red, so you can pay whatever you want to counter the counterbalance. And then you pay 2 to put the
Now that is some spicy Terminus tech.
Yeah, exactly. He wanted to run a Grenzo. Apparently he couldn't find one before the tournament. So, and there goes our ringleader hardcast. Let's see what we can get here. Oh wow, it's pretty solid.
That is good.
Ringleader into ringleader is always money.
Yep. It's funny, you look at a mono red deck like Goblins and, you think, well, they throw their hand out and hope for the best, right? But they can be pretty resilient with restocking their hand between matrons, ringleaders, all that
the
good
key
stuff.
thing is, Chris said the Terminus did nothing. The Terminus bought time. you know?
Bought him some time, yeah, but he is kind of right. The Terminus really wasn't,
Oh, he's restocking his hand, yeah, he's got some creatures in
Right.
play, etc. But chaining ringleaders has got to feel so good. Exactly.
I'm pretty sure Jake's feeling good right now.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
finals.
final.
I'm pretty sure Jake showed the cards off ringleader. There are those cards that are towards the top
Yeah, he
of the
did.
screen there. It's
Yeah.
pile driver and another ringleader.
He showed. Yeah, he just tilts them a little bit, and he put them on the card or put them on the deck, or put them on the table rather. They're sitting on the table now. And Jake just restock, sandbag the second ringleader. Yeah, I could see that.
So Jake really can just keep on trucking the way he is. He doesn't have to change much.
Yeah.
Just
So the thing is, though, the more lands Tyler plays, the closer he gets to a terminus.
right.
Or
right.
an entreat. Sorry, a viable entreat to win the game.
So that's what I was gonna kind of mention briefly about game one. I think Jake might have been a little biased towards wanting to take that one terminus out of there, only because I did see him earlier in the day. I think it was actually one of the camera matches as well. He was thoroughly. I think he was playing Tyler as well. In
exactly.
the Swiss and
And Tyler made the angels, blocked, and then swung in with him and
Jake
won the game.
not someone that plays like a ton of legacies, so he probably wanted to
Right,
just
that is a pretty-
hedge his bets if anything.
It's a pretty decent play. He can survive a terminus, but he can't survive a lethal entreat.
Exactly.
So-
That was probably his thinking. And then if worst case scenario he has one terminus, obviously the Miracles deck pretty good at filtering through its library to find the cards it wants to
Right.
see, even if it doesn't necessarily draw them with just fetching and topping. But
Twin Dom plays Miracles, so he's a party pooper. Always.
they're always going to be there.
Yeah. So what do we got here? Gonna go port,
All right. Well,
which is nice. This is a funny matchup where the aggro deck can do almost as much with its lands as the control deck can.
exactly.
Right?
And that's definitely part of the power of why Goblins is even remotely playable.
Right. So we're gonna go ringleader again. Lean into it a bit.
Yep. Once again, can't be countered because Cavern of Souls is just a good.
And the vial's
fun
gonna go to the
card.
bottom. So another
It's like a
war chief.
Yeah,
and,
got a war chief off the ringleader.
pile
Gonna
driver.
come in. Probably, yeah. I was gonna say, might be time for
Ambush
a
Viper.
ambush viper. Sounds about right. Gets a brainstorm off of it.
Is he gonna take the brainstorm?
I mean, I assume he's targeted a brainstorm or something. I mean, I think the only other cards in his graveyard is
Right, and it gets
Terminus
flashed back
and-
until the end of.
Right, so he doesn't have to
turn,
cast it
So
yet.
he
He
doesn't cast it.
can wait till he has information
So
on
there
what
we
Jake
go.
did this turn,
Right.
or in response to a pile driver, which he can actually counter if he wants. I mean, I doubt it, but. Oh, I see what they were
He
saying.
did
He's-
reveal them though.
Reveal all the
Yeah, he
reveal
did.
all the
He
cards he,
turned
did.
him-
Okay,
he turned
all
his
right.
hand up,
Yeah,
you can see.
that's right. Yeah, that is what you
So,
mentioned. He kind of just
yeah.
quickly
Exactly.
tilts him, and honestly, they're going. To
He
bottom
could be.
anyway,
He could
who
be
cares?
saying Mountain Vial, and then puts them on the bottom.
Right.
So
I don't think it's too big of a concern here. I don't know.
yeah, exactly. He may have the third ringleader in hand. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, we can't exactly.
I think I see a third
I think I
ringleader in
did
his
see the
hand,
ringleader
yeah.
as well, real quick there.
So,
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think
Bunch
he
of
might have,
cards
like-
don't mean a whole lot right here, right? Is that a terminus?
I believe
Terminus.
it was. Yep.
So
All
there we
right.
go. This is how he beat. They traded games earlier. This is how he beat Jake
Yeah.
earlier in the day. Was terminus, entreat. So
Exactly.
If he
That's,
can
I mean,
find
that's
enough
really
of
all
his
you got to do.
miracles,
Because what's the Goblins deck going to do to stop you from doing that?
right. Oh yeah, absolutely nothing.
Right.
He is resolving the spell correctly. So it looks like a lackey off the top. Interesting. Lackey doesn't really get that bad, does he? I mean, he's not as great now as he would be on turn 1.
No, it's obviously
But
much
for
much
right
better
now,
in the game. But I mean,
It's not nothing.
He'd probably really like a second cavern to really start pumping on the pressure, but
Yeah, it's true. He's sticking close to 1 goblin per turn. We got a little Swords to Plowshares action.
So down goes the War Chief. Lackey will not have haste.
He is, though, a washable axe.
He's kind of showing them. It's like very, very fast. I mean, we're not going to break his balls over it, I guess. But there's another Terminus floating, so that is obviously good for Tyler.
So this is going to be the Terminus Entreat game, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Where is Earwig Squad when you need him?
Exactly. I'm pretty sure that is all Jake is wishing for right now.
So this is where Terminus is, again, it's a tempo play. He's kept Jake down to 1 or 2 creatures.
Yeah, it's not some huge blowout, but it's just, doing what Miracles wants to do, which is just stay alive, drag out the game, eventually.
It's funny, too, because even when Terminus isn't busted, it's still good enough to get him through this game.
Exactly,
yeah.
Right.
Course, what do we got here? How many viewers? We got 137 viewers. Good to see you guys.
Not bad.
We do have our group on Facebook if you want to join up. Hit us up. Ether Vial.
Yeah,
exactly.
Better late than never, I guess.
Right,
but
yeah. It's not awful now, but...
yeah, because, like we said, the game's going to drag out. It is another uncounterable way to get goblins into play, but...
Now, this is one of those games where I bet, Tyler wished this list still had a moat in it.
Yeah. He did borrow Tulin's deck as well, which Tulin does his moat from time to time.
I think he's cut it, though, because we thought it would be really good, and it hasn't been the best.
Yeah, the meta we have right now is not suited for a moat in a Miracles deck.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to get a
Snapcast, Swords to Plowshares.
Plow the Lackey. Board is clear again. Tyler still has a Terminus floating around on top as well, so that's going to be pretty good. Ooh, there's an Elspeth he just pulled to the front. Looks like he wants to get that into play. That'll go a long ways towards winning the game. There we go. Elspeth on the board.
Yep.
That is a good point, Twin Dom. I think Jake just might not exactly be totally aware of little interactions like that.
Yeah, he's not. This is his very first day playing the deck.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be playing with perfect, optimal play lines and stuff like that.
And if you guys are that adamant about us making sure he's revealing his cards, then I don't know. We'll tell him after the game or something, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how showing his opponent the cards is not revealing them, but I'm not going to dig in there.
Yeah.
Krinko Mob Bosses really win more in a lot of these lists,
Yeah, I'm not sure how good that actually is.
Yeah, I mean, he does. He multiplies the amount of power you have on the board, but if you're going to die to a board wipe, you still die to a board wipe.
Exactly, yeah.
And
he's not really doing anything to help your game plan that you're already weak to. And
right, yeah, exactly. So Sting Scourger. It's going to bounce the better than nothing.
Yeah.
Or we're swinging at Elspeth, I should hope.
I would, but as
maybe
we know,
maybe we're next to lethal. Maybe
there is a Terminus on top that is about to be cast.
Yeah.
Shocking.
And this is where Grenzo would shine.
Yeah. He is just kicking himself right now, and I wish I had that Grenzo. Tyler just going straight for the Fate Seal, get a dude into play a Sensei's top. It's looking pretty good for Tyler at this point now.
Yeah, exactly. I think Chris Jackson hit the nail on the head. This is his first time out with the deck. He finaled with it.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Competing for a Tundra is not the easiest format to
break.
master.
Yeah.
Yes, if he had left, I do agree that if he had left the fetch up, he would be able to fetch his ringleaders evenly back into the deck. But that's one of those marginal percentage chances,
Yeah.
It's like a deck thinning thing. Or it might give you a slight edge. It looks like he wants to snap surgical something. Surgical on Terminus, I'm almost certain.
Probably.
We're going to ban Terminus
no.
from the game?
Looked like Ponder. They should put a Ponder in exile.
Surgical Ponder?
See, this is, again, kind of what I was just talking about, surgicals being misplayed and things like that. And I won't say it's a misplay,
Tyler's
but,
run through 2 or 3 of his Terminus so far.
Exactly,
right?
that's exactly right. Yeah.
So maybe it's less of a thing. Ponder's really interesting. Ponder's the only thing that he has that can freshen the top of his deck, right?
Yeah.
First time out and in the finals, damn good job. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's done.
There it is. Earwig Squad showing up to the party.
Goodness.
He's a little late.
He's not going to get to Prowl, right?
No Prowl, no. Because
Okay.
he was not
Still
dealt
5-3.
It's a
not
5-3.
5-3s are not bad cards.
Unfortunately, Elspeth going to be able to make blockers for a long time.
Ponder reduces the chance that he ever finds Entreat. Ponder getting rid of Ponder substantially reduces the chances of finding Entreat. And if that's the only thing that he's really afraid of in this matchup, which I think it is, then it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Surgical for value, Jake at least gets to see what to look for in game 3.
That's true. Yeah, he does get to look at the deck and figure out what's going on. So yeah. So Tyler definitely boarded in a lot of cards. It seems like he brought in the Elspeth, he brought in Baneslayer, brought in Detention Sphere, all cards we figured were probably good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is going to be a grindy, combat damage sort of matchup. So you go for Baneslayer, you go for Elspeth to clog up the board.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this situation right now is pretty bad for Jake.
Really not doing much. That's well, gotta try, right? That is a very good point, actually. Little Beats, he did actually not have double black to pay for that Earwig Squad.
Oh, okay.
So
Earwig is double black?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it didn't really matter much there. Tyler had the game.
Quote unquote, it always matters, right? But so we'll mention that to him towards the end of the thing.
Yeah. So we pretty much saw the extent of all that sideboarding going on. Like I said, he got the Baneslayer Angel came in. Supreme Verdict probably came in. We just didn't see it. Elspeth came in. Sphere came in. We saw Jake bring in his Pithing Needles and surgical extractions. So probably not changing much here for Game 3.
Yeah, I think it stays pretty much the same. I don't see any reason
no
to
real reason to change anything now.
I think Jake's sideboard is solid. I would love it if it was a little bit more flexible, but I think he's one of the he's one of the only players here who's respecting the fact that he didn't build a blue deck. He can't afford to try.
Cannot beat combo.
That's part of it, but he also can't sideboard like he has Brainstorm in his deck.
No, not at all.
He has to have 2s and 3s.
That's always something I see too. That I think is just so. It's like all these especially in something like in a format like Modern, where you have tons of just mid-rangey green decks and stuff like that.
And it's one of
and their sideboards just flush with 1s and 2s. It's like, how do you ever reasonably draw these cards?
No, exactly.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's one thing to get a marginal advantage or have 2 cards that do relatively similar things.
Right. Well, redundancy, but I mean, when you just have just a bunch of random 1s and 2s, and it's.
So this is it. This is the nail biter. This is for the Tundra.
Oh yeah.
Get back over there, right? Just a second. Yeah, this guy ignores 99% of all the miracle builds.
Yes.
And he tops about 2/3 of our tournaments with miracles. So, it may work in your metagame, but he respects his own metagame, and he does very well for it.
Exactly. So. Kevin definitely knows the meta here. He knows how to build his miracles deck for the meta here. No one here will argue with Tulin's ability to play miracles.
Nobody who's played against Tulin will ever challenge.
Oh, trust me, I've lost to Tulin many times. Many times.
Yeah. Where you would normally win against a miracles deck, you don't against it.
Right. He knows what he's doing, and I'm not gonna argue with any of his card choices.
So let's see. We got the full 7 on Jake's side of the table. Looks like we're keeping.
Did he mold? Looks like he's resolving a scry right now. Yeah, Jake mold. So Tyler kept 7. All right, so he's kept on top. Lead with a weight slam. And Island into Sensei's top. I don't really know what else you could want for a turn 1 as miracles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you keep the whole hand based on that. Just
Right.
Island into Sensei's
Right.
top.
Especially when you know there's just no worry of, oh, well, are
No,
they going
no
to force
turn
my
2,
top?
no turn
And,
3.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. And you're gonna
nothing
get
like that. Just
you
get
got
it
a little
into
bit of
play.
time to work your stuff out too. So.
Yeah, yeah. A pile driver by itself, not super threatening. He needs a few buddies out there to help him out. This guy's fucking shit.
Done. So let's see. How do you follow this one up? How good is your counterbalance against goblins?
I feel like their costs are kind of all over the place, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, you could probably you probably value, I'm sure, but that's your disenchant. Is that disenchant?
That is
no, that's
Celestial Purge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. So the pile driver got swords in response to the war chief, I'm assuming, and then the war chief himself was purged. Now a matron enters the battlefield, uncounterable thanks to Cavern. So counterbalance is obviously not something that got boarded out, right? I mean,
Oh no,
honestly
I don't see you ever boarding it
doubt
out.
it, right?
Like
Yeah.
like I'm saying, I think it's high enough value that you're gonna snag a few
It's
cards
still
here
good,
and there.
right? Yeah,
You're not gonna get everything he has.
It's such a low cost to get it and put it into play, especially when you already have the top 2. That
Right.
it's like, why not, right?
So we see Terminus, Brainstorm,
So
and a fetch land.
Jake's got, a decent grip of cards. All right, well, there is the Krenko Mob Boss.
So he is running it then. It's interesting.
Brainstorm. Yep. When is this happening now? Did the Krenk? I'm assuming he let the Krenko resolve, right?
Right.
So Ringleader got in. Krenko comes down. Fortunately gets hit with a Terminus, and Tyler has another Terminus in hand that he will be able to put back with this Brainstorm, so Tyler definitely has some time bought for him here with that Terminus plus another one on top.
Yeah, exactly.
But Jake's not doing too bad here either. He's still got a pretty full grip. He's got a pair of Wastelands in play, which will maybe
Counterspell and Spell Snare
being good.
both seem pretty good here.
Those are definitely both pretty good cards against the
We're
Goblins
gonna
deck.
fetch him away.
Huh.
I guess you gotta feed Terminus.
Yeah. So did he, with that Brainstorm, I didn't quite see, did he put that other Terminus that he had back, and did he just shuffle, or he put back the Counterspell and the Spell Snare?
Scruff, thank you. On point. Yeah, I think he Brainstorm did upkeep. I think he let the combat damage through. Yeah, it's not argumentation. I'm not saying his deck list is right. I'm saying in his local metagame, he does pretty well. And that's where he plays, and he builds for that. I'm not saying you should play this deck or that you're wrong or stupid, but he wins in his metagame. So, build a deck that can win the games that you're going to play. Don't build a deck for Star City and then never go to Opens.
Which you can't do anymore anyway, because they're
Oh, salt.
Anyway,
Salt in the wound.
about those SCG Legacy Opens.
It's so true. Siege Gang is decent here if he can untap and swing,
Exactly,
right? Because he
yeah.
can just sit there and fling goblins in response to a
Right,
Terminus.
Right. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we know that there is that. Did he just... What did... Okay, so yeah, he's gonna float the Terminus, untap for his turn, cast Terminus, yada yada yada.
Exactly.
Alright.
Aether Vial's good, but anything you're casting here that's not just spamming goblins, it's not
Exactly.
like, you're not where you want to be exactly. Sharpshooter is going to be good if Knight Errant comes down, but we're going to see a board wipe before that ever happens.
Oh yeah, of course.
He's not being... Nobody got banned from chat. calm your shit, dude. Jesus. So, let's see. So he's passing with Snapcaster and enough mana to potentially just Terminus, just to snap Terminus almost?
Almost, yeah. One away.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's 1 mana off.
Yep. All right.
Gibbous is so evil.
Well, it's just going to be good enough for Jake then. I mean...
So this is the one where Goblins is favored? Goblins was favored?
I don't know.
Yes.
Jake had a good showing there. But, yes, let's be honest.
I didn't think, I mean, I guess a really sharp Goblins player with a really meta design deck.
Right, you need some
would
spicy tech. Be ready for that.
You need some
Terminus
Grenzo tech. I
think
Game 1 Earwig Squad was great
the
enough.
Squad was just backbreaking.
Yeah, just great enough just to have him come out. Thank you, Bob. Yes, this is the whole thing. I don't want to just argue with people who are wrong in chat and just I'd rather commentate the finals of this thing. So it looks like we did go to the full 4 Force of Will, I think. Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, those came out.
Yeah, so, wow. It was
like
a great fight, though, on both sides of the table. But just, that's your... If you want... This is my argument for... he did top his first event ever. Thank you, Chris. Congratulations to Jake. First
Jake
Legacy event
with
his own deck.
Good run here.
Killer run. But yeah, you would have to run Grenzo. You would have to run, be able to consistently hit Earwig Squatter.
Right.
And just do whatever you could to make that work. I think he gave Tyler a great run for his money. I don't think Tyler ever thought, in those 3 games, wow, this is sewed up. Not until the last minute.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's most of Miracle's games as well. It's grind, try to barely not die, and then the game's locked up, and you don't ever have to worry about dying anymore. And as long as you win the game in a reasonable time, that's it.
And this is my, however long this was, this is my half-hour, 40-minute explanation of why Terminus might need to be banned, right? Because
you can make an argument for it.
He drew a solid swarm hand.
Right.
He swarmed
there was nothing wrong with Jake's draw. He
did really well. And then Terminus just came off the top. He fought the Terminus. He exiled Terminus in game 1, knowing that was going to be a huge threat. The entire game he played around Terminus. He did everything he could to keep that card from being a blowout.
Yep.
And here is the Stegosaurus Tyler Steckman.
You want to jump in there? Tell the people how good I am.
You want to jump in?
Yep, I'm going to
head out. How wonderful you are.
Your champion is here. Like, he even needed the Tundra anyway.
I just want to go full value on it. I can only attack him down to 1, but
Only to 1, he says.
My hand was like Snapcast or something else. It's not like it was like that what you would do.
Congrats, dude. Good games.
Good.
Come on over here. Let's talk. Come into the Grizzle Cam and talk to us.
Grizzle Cam.
Shazam.
What's up, guys?
I got this from Ben Rossi.
Yeah, I remember you were wearing it before.
I am officially a Juggalo now. So how do you feel about that matchup? That actually came up that, historically that was regarded to be an awful matchup for Miracles.
Yeah.
People sort of came around and realized with Ringleader that the card advantage Terminus gives you, but Terminus is still this huge tempo game. They still have to replay a bunch of 3 and 4 drop shitty creatures.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about it throughout? Did you feel like, you were sweating there a little bit, I'm sure.
We played the last round of Swiss, and the matchup was like quick 2-0 in my favor.
Yeah.
I know that the cards that can be like problematic because like Cavern and Vial are really good against me, obviously, which is why I sided out like my forces. And then like when we played in Swiss, I kept in a couple counterbalance.
Right.
Because since I have the back to basic, I figured I could like kind of lock it out.
About that. You get enough value out of back to basics that it'll be worth it.
But when I played him in the finals, I actually thought about Containment Priest as a flash blocker on God Matrix because a lot of his guys are 1/1s and 2/1s.
And Containment Priest shuts down the Vial and the Lackey
exactly,
as well.
Exactly, yeah. So it seemed pretty good there, just like another dude.
How exactly unexpected was the Earwig Squad?
Yeah, I heard him talk about it earlier, and I didn't actually know what it did.
But the dude,
yeah, he's like talking about it to someone. I didn't know what the card did, so... When he put it to play, I didn't know his main deck. I assumed it was a sideboard card.
Right.
So when he put it to play, I was like, okay, yeah. And then, I just got Ravaged.
And then he says, give me your deck.
Yeah, I never got a third land. I kept brainstorming topic. I don't know if you guys saw it. And I just couldn't find a third land, which is why eventually I conceded because I was just clunked with 2 drops.
Yeah.
But then post-board, I think because he doesn't bring a lot. He brings in, like, surgicals and, like, pithing needles. So cards that are, like, trying to, like, hinder me but don't really do that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's just, like, he took out, like, Tarfires, like, random creatures, random spells. Right. But it doesn't have a huge effect on the game. Where I'm like taking out all my counters and my stuff that just like gets destroyed by Cavern and Vial.
A lot of your 1-for-1s.
Yeah,
and stuff that wasn't going to be gonna just get blanked.
So I brought in a Supreme Verdict, the Elspeth.
Right.
the 2 Containment Priests, the Celestial Purge,
Baneslayer.
the Baneslayer, and I think there was one other card. Yeah, let me see. That's
Oh, you brought in your
Humility.
Yeah, right.
Just because, like, the big way he gets ahead is with the Matron, right? That's one that searches a tutor.
Yeah, Matron.
So the Matron and the Ringleader. But
yeah.
luckily, like, his Ringleaders weren't chaining. Like, he was getting 1 or 2 guys.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
And it was
Ringleaders weren't treating him quite
Yeah,
right.
which made the game, like, pretty
You were
easy
better
to-
positioned than you would have been if you had been in 3 colors, weren't you?
Yeah, I think I know that was, like, a big thing you were saying in the chat all day.
It's still going back and forth in the
But
chat.
the
yeah.
8 basics was awesome. So
Right.
I'm playing 5 island, 3 planes,
Yeah.
and then I'm just 2 Tundra, 1 Mystic, 8, 1 Caracas. So my ability to kind of like navigate through these, like he had 2 Wastelands that game.
Yeah, I noticed. Game 3, you opened off of Island into Sensei's top.
Yeah.
And he opened on turn 1
And then
Wasteland
I went
or
like
whatever.
fetch land for basics.
Yeah,
and
exactly. So it's at no point does your mana supply, can your mana supply be interrupted?
Exactly, especially with that much like card filter, I could just find like fetch lands over non-basics.
And that's the kind of game where if he wastes you 2 turns and then ports you and
Yeah.
keeps you off of a good, lethal entreat, then he can actually steal a game.
for sure. Yeah, that's why I was like, I had the 1 Terminus in my hand because I brainstormed earlier to kind of navigate the game. I'm not a big fan of like end of turn brainstorms.
Right.
But with this deck, I was just kind of like navigating some turns with tops and just kind of like go deeper.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I had the entreat there for a little while, but it like didn't seem like as opportune of like a time at any point until I did it. I mean, like granted, I went a little overboard. I didn't need to do it for 5 guys, whatever I
Right.
did. See how he's at 21, so that's not even lethal.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
At that point, my hand was like Snapcaster's Detention Sphere, I think.
Uh-huh.
So putting 5 Angels into play, just eating his
You were
board.
getting close to the point where you could Snapcaster Terminus. as
Yeah,
well,
like
too,
I like the
right?
next turn, I could if I really wanted to like Snapcaster and treat for 1 more Angel.
So the
just
big
because-
question, I know you guys chopped on it, but
Yeah.
are you going to be building towards Miracles now?
I mean, like I said, I don't know. I want to play next week. I know Kevin Toolin, whose deck I borrowed, was saying, he's kind of about Miracles right now. He just doesn't want to play right now.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So he said if he's either playing Mud or Storm, I was like, well, can I keep
Then
borrowing
that's all
Miracles?
you, yeah.
I mean,
Sweet.
I don't play a lot of Legacy. You guys never really see me unless I'm in the booth.
Right.
And I think this is like my 4th Legacy tournament. My first 3, I played Dredge. I played Dredge at like back when it was
Oh,
at
God, yeah. And then you played Burn
Game
and
Depot or
Right,
whatever.
well, yeah, Heroes and Villains. or
Yeah,
whatever, yeah.
no, it was
Fun Depot.
Fun Depot,
Right,
yeah.
right.
And then that was Chris Herron's Dredge deck. And then at the last like Open they had in Florida, I played Chris Herron's Dredge deck again. But I actually think the deck was sweet.
Right.
I did make some blunders because like my first real time picking up the deck.
Yeah.
Then a couple weeks ago I played Burn, which is like my least favorite deck in any format of Magic. And that's went poorly. And
The O2 drop.
yeah, I like Storm and I like Miracles and Legacy. And this
Yeah.
week Kevin was like borrowing Storm, so I was like, can I borrow Miracles? And
Cool.
it worked out. Yeah, I think the safe route for the chop we chop prize support.
I always think so. Yeah.
And he also like because I don't need the Tundra, I can always $74 is always good.
It's a huge amount of
And
credit,
he also told me he didn't care about the points, so he gave me the SF on points no matter what.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because 24 points right now, because I just like got into the grind like a month ago.
Right,
I had
right.
like 14 points. I was like, all right, this is like nothing,
Yeah.
but I would like to play in this from
And we're through most of the Centurions
Yeah.
for the season too, so
And that's why it worked out really well. Like,
wasn't that big points left.
yeah, because I know coming into today I had 41 points, but all the docking bay tournaments from the last like 3 weeks haven't been put in. And
I see.
I got second in Modern last week. I won Standard this week. I got like top 4 in
So you
Standard
should get
this
a nice
week.
big boost from that.
Yeah, and
Sweet.
then PPG the other night I got 3rd place, whatever's that's
Right,
what.
right.
And then today I get 24.
And
so
this is coming up. We're doing Standard and Modern for the next
which
Invitational.
I'm like very excited
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
Because now
It's perfect
I
for you.
think once all the points are updated, I should be, if I had to guess, probably around 80 points right now, which I'm
Okay.
pretty sure puts me in the high 20s.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Which and I
It's
like
close to a
Modern and
lock,
Standard
yeah.
a lot. I like Grixis and
And I think a lot of our Legacy people are not really trying as hard this time around
Yeah.
because it's not a
There's
Legacy
no Legacy. So many people,
Invitational,
it's like,
so
'cause-
it's a much bigger opening for
because these
for
Sunday
guys
tournaments are
to
like
go in.
the highest like value on points.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so you
yeah,
draw
yeah.
out the people, and that's how a lot of people grind. And they'll just like throw a Standard deck together for the one tournament, the 3 rounds they have
Yeah,
to play.
and I've actually had conversations with our Legacy players where they're like, well, as long as I win one of the 3
Yeah,
Standard rounds,
exactly.
then I should still stand a chance for top 8.
For
So
sure.
congratulations,
Thank you,
sir.
thank you.
Hopefully you start feeling better.
Yeah, not gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'll
Hopefully
fight
get
through
off
it.
the miracles, right?
Yeah, you need a hallelujah.
There you go. All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Take it easy, man.
Yep, have a good one.
And guys, it's been a pleasure. Have a good one. We'll be back later on. Actually, not today. We're
You
just
dropped
done.
your energy.
Yeah. Hey.